Let's take a quick inventory of establishments you might pass on a daily basis. You might pass one or more grocery stores during your daily commute, maybe a handful of restaurants and fast food establishments, 2 schools, 3 office buildings, and maybe 1 shopping mall. Each establishment likely sells food items deriving from the major systems we've been discussing, such as overfishing and major cattle farming, whether it be through cafeterias, food courts, or even vending machines. Because a huge amount of Americans' daily meals consist of something that is involved with meat, especially cow or fish or dairy, these establishments must carry many of these products to ensure they have ample supplies for business transactions and basic functioning. Each establishment needs to maintain a constant supply of products to keep their inventories stocked and ready for business. The products must be fresh to adhere to health standards and brand new, since of course food products cannot be reused. One must take a moment to contemplate the weight of this demand and the true costs to maintain such a business model. One must also keep in mind that the inventories are always moving, fluid, and being replenished. These products have a temporary shelf life and inevitably will be wasted if not purchased and consumed in a proper amount of time. Because of the fluid nature of such products, consumed or wasted, they are in a constant, never-ending demand. To meet this never-ending demand, suppliers must provide a never-ending supply of such products, regardless of how they are made. So bear with me for example's sake. Let's say you walk into your local grocery store. Imagine the wall of prepackaged meats which generally line a large wall next to the butcher shop. These meats can come from a variety of places, but just remember that at least one life, one experience of evil was required for the creation of such a product. With no talk of human-centric morality or ethics, observe the raw data and physical reality of the situation, that each product came from an individual animal who physically did experience our hand of evil prior to perishing. So how many meals do you see on this wall? 50, 100? Okay, this is just the butcher meat section. Let's now walk to the freezer aisle of the same store. Let's take a quick inventory of all the frozen goodies requiring experiences of evil. How many are in this section? 150, 200. The boxes are easier to stack, pre-made and less perishable. So there are likely more products here. Therefore, in these 2 sections alone, hundreds of individuals experienced evil in order for this one store to be properly stocked today. Take into account that things such as the butcher's unfrozen meats have a short shelf life, good for only a few days, and will have to be replaced within a short amount of time. Each product will need to be replaced when a customer buys one, and each product will need to be replaced if it sits on the shelf for too long. How many products does this grocery store need to satisfy this ongoing demand? Lots. But that's only one supermarket. There are an estimated 40,000 grocery stores in the United States alone, all needing to have constantly stocked shelves, products ready for purchase, and inventories ready for restocking. Imagine the magnitude of the resources required to supply such demand. Now imagine, on top of this staggering number of grocery stores, the amount of products needed to fulfill the demand of a semi-popular restaurant. Same thing, the restaurant must hold a proper inventory at all times to ensure they can sell their products and remain in business. These products are time-sensitive and will need to be replenished when purchased or after expiration. At the time of writing, there are approximately 660,000 restaurants in the United States, most of which partake in and perpetuate the greater systems of life for profit. Add in all of the schools, workplaces and governmental facilities with cafeterias, in addition to malls with food courts that serve such products daily across the country, who must also stay constantly stocked with time-sensitive products that require an experience of evil in order to be created. Once you have an idea of these 4 example benefactors in your head, grocery stores, restaurants, cafeterias, food courts, you'll begin to see the grandiosity of the scale in question and the reason that such practices can be extremely damaging. The time-sensitive nature of their products makes these systems especially damaging and harmful. When discarded due to being unused, the product was ultimately obtained in vain, and the individual who experienced evil in its attainment experienced such for no reason. They experienced such evil so that we could keep the wheels of our business system rolling, not to ensure the survival of our species. For the business owner, even if it means wasting some product, it is simply the nature of their business and is worth the loss or waste. On top of all of this, it's important to mention that plastic is very frequently used as the primary method of packing these types of products. Whether used to protect perishables for longer shelf life, internal packaging to contain products like cereal, or as the bags to carry out groceries, plastic is frivolously used in these locations. This means that plastic is wasted during the production of these products and will further burden the planet once it has been discarded. The plastics create a tomb for unused products, which will prevent the organic materials from properly decomposing when reintroduced into nature. Although this might be a blessing, as the greenhouse gas emissions from our biodegradable food coming out of landfills is also a leading cause of carbon and methane. This biodegrading causes landfills to account for 15% of methane gases, meaning, in tandem with manure management, 9% and enteric fermentation, 27% cow industry, the overconsumption and production of food, a large source of the biodegradable matter wasted every day, accounts for 51% of all methane. This is more than natural gas and petroleum systems, 32%, and coal mining, 6% combined. Asterisk 2020 US methane emissions by source, EPA. Gov. For the first time in human history, the luxury of desirable food is at our fingertips. Instead of hunting and gathering, we have the convenience of picking and choosing exactly what we want to eat from a wide variety of products that are readily available every single day, near regardless of the time of year or location. This luxury does not come without its consequences, although the business systems perpetuating such luxuries try to keep these consequences out of sight and out of mind. Many of our local eateries and food suppliers use products from damaging business systems which are harmful to the greater perpetuation of life on Earth. The products in these locations operate to meet an insatiable human-centric demand, which is ironic because it is the business of satiation. The endless demand for such products creates serious problems, primarily when the products cost so much for their creation, thus snowballing to greater and greater consequences when paired alongside major systems such as plastics. The weight of convenience today comes in the form of perpetuating evil systems, increasing damage to the planet, and making tomorrow's Earth more difficult to survive on.